Would you like some good quality anime merch? Well, you can get that from our sponsor today, Beautiful Halo, link in the description. And on your next $49 plus order, get 5% off with the code MEME, and $99 plus order with code MEME for 10% off. Right before we begin this video, I just want to shout out my friend Hxmesh. Yes, he's my guy, and he just started a YouTube channel, and go subscribe to him, show him some love. He does Warzone videos. He just started, and his videos are actually kind of way better than mine. I started with 360p videos. He started with 1080p. Ways. Anywho, now if you guys can go subscribe to him, show him some love, I'd appreciate it a lot, and he would too. And anywho, let's get right into the video. Roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is what if Naruto this is what if Naruto took his ninja life seriously remake. Yes, this is a remake of the original. It was one of the first ever series I've ever made, and so I want to finish I want to remake and finish it. Of course, I did just upload another first part, but of course there's going to be a different video in the middle. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Rinnegan part 3 finale, and this is the new one. This is another new wife, because we were doing 2 series in a week and we finished both, and now we're starting 2 new series. Anywho, we begin this wife with Naruto actually being of course bullied by a few people, but then he after he gets bullied by a few people, he actually goes off on his own to actually see some training. Literally, Naruto is just looking at people training in the training grounds, and he sees that there is one guy that he really saw, that he really admired, and it was actually, Itachi. And it wasn't training ground, sorry, it was actually the forest. Naruto actually trained himself sometimes, and he actually heard a few kunai noises and shuriken noises, and so he went off and he saw Shisui and Itachi train. Of course, Itachi would be 9 by now, 5 years older than Sasuke, I'm pretty sure. Anywho, because Itachi was 13 when he killed the clan, and Sasuke was 8, so he was actually 9, and remember, Itachi graduated from the academy at the age of 9, so he was actually training with Shisui, and is what he is. Now, Naruto really, enjoyed watching them train, and every day he used to go there and see them training. And one day, Shisui actually noticed Naruto, and he actually told Naruto to come near them, and basically Naruto was kind of scared, so he started backing up. But then Shisui appeared behind him and said, "It's fine, there's no need to be scared, we're not gonna hurt you." And basically Shisui actually knows about Naruto's existence, and yeah, of course Shisui then Itachi then says, "Who's this Shisui? Do you know him?" And Shisui is like, "Not really, I don't know him, but I know about his existence. I don't really know him in a personal way like you and me." But his way is, after this, of course, Itachi greeted himself and introduced himself, and Naruto introduced himself, and so Naruto actually Shisui actually asked Naruto what was he doing, why was he watching them, and basically Naruto's like, "Well, I want to become a ninja like or you two. I've seen you guys train for a few days, and you guys are really strong, and I want to become just as strong as you lot." And basically then Shisui took initiative and asked Naruto if he actually wanted to become if he wanted to come and train with them. Of course, at first Naruto was kind of scared, because they looked kind of scary, but at the same time they were really friendly to him. And so Naruto actually then said, "Yes, I wanna become strong." And so basically after this, Naruto and Shisui and Itachi start training. Of course, this is 4-year-old Naruto, and of course Shisui dies in like 3 years and a half, and it is what it is. Now after this, of course 2 years have passed, and Naruto has already become pretty freaking strong. He knows the body flicker, he knows a few jutsus, like he actually unlocked fire release, and he also knows wind release. And Itachi was actually able to teach Naruto 3 wind release jutsus like the wind style, wind gale, wind style, wind gale palm. I'm pretty sure it's what's called. And anywho, now of course Shisui taught him the fireball jutsu, also the fire phoenix flower jutsu, which even Shisui learned. I mean Itachi learned, and is what it is. Of course, Naruto is actually a pretty freaking OP guy with the body flicker. To be honest, Naruto is already high tier Genin and near enough a mid tier Chunin, especially because not many Chunin can actually could actually put up a fight against Naruto. Of course, Naruto is actually learning, written things too. For example, you know how Itachi was able to come second without cheating in the tuning exams, and he was actually able to become a tuning and got the second highest score. Of course, perfect scores, but did it a bit slower than Minato. Yeah, of course, Naruto is just as smart as Itachi. But of course, a year and a half later of Naruto training with them, perfecting his taijutsu, of course Shisui passes away, and Naruto asks Itachi, but then Itachi says that the training is over from now on, and basically Naruto then wants an answer. But of course, Itachi just looks back and says, Naruto, it really doesn't matter anymore. And after this, basically Naruto spawned the Genjutsu, but Naruto's mind was strong enough to actually break out. Yes, that's how strong Naruto is, and just saying, he wasn't the Tsukuyomi. And so, anywho, after this, Naruto actually then left, and there was still 6 months before, the Uchiha massacre and how Naruto began, his his academy life. But of course, during these 6 months, Naruto actually spent them in the library, just learning new things about, shinobi, ninjas, and everything. And after this, after a while, after another 6 months, Naruto was actually able to learn quite a few things. And of course, Naruto is actually pretty freaking strong right now, and he's smart too. Anywho, Naruto begins the academy, and realizing that he learned pretty much everything that there was to the academy, the academy taught you and more during the first year of his training with Shisui and Itachi. And so he decided to actually leave the academy. He didn't actually do the exam or anything. He just left like straight up. And just saying, this will be a Tsuki ship. Of course, Tsuki is still Shisui's brother, sister, not brother. Yo, I was about to do a madness. Anywho, I know I sound much better, and that is because my fever went, but I still have the cough. And yeah, anywho, I'm gonna have the test on Friday. You literally, I thought it was today, but apparently there's something on Friday. Is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto and Naruto, after leaving the academy, goes to the Hokage and says that he wants to start doing missions. And basically the Hokage is like, what do you mean? You left the I was about to say Akatsuki. You left the academy, and now you want to start missions. Naruto, you don't understand. You have to pass the academy. And basically Naruto's like, what's the final exam of the academy? And basically Hokage says usually one of the 3 jutsu that you learn in the academy. And basically Naruto then asks, and basically the clone jutsu, the transformation jutsu, and the substitution jutsu, one of those 2. Well, the clone jutsu, the substitution jutsu, and I forgot the other one. It doesn't really matter. But of course, then Naruto's like, would this be enough? And basically Naruto creates shadow clones, and the Hokage can tell the difference between clones and shadow clones, and he's like, wait, Naruto, how? Where did you learn this? And basically Naruto's like, can I start doing missions? And basically the Hokage is like, well, it's okay. Wait, no, what? And basically he was confused. But then Naruto explained that he actually trained with Shisui and Itachi Uchiha, but of course Shisui passed away, and he never understood how he died. And and basically, of course, the Hokage knew that Shisui, he didn't actually know perfectly what happened to, Shisui, but of course, he had a vague idea, of course, Itachi killing him, but of course, it's not true, and it is what it is. Now, after this, Naruto actually begins missions with a few different teams. He actually starts missions with Kakashi and some Jonin, and they're actually really easy missions. The D's and C's, and yes, even Jonin do D rank missions when there's no like high ranking missions. But one day the Jonin that Naruto usually does missions with, and he's just been a week, had to go on an A rank mission. And of course Naruto wanted to join, but he wasn't allowed. Anywho, during the 1 week that the Jonin were out, Naruto actually spent his time training on his own and actually learning jutsus from scrolls that he actually procured himself from the Hokage. Of course, during this time, Naruto actually met someone, and it was Tsuki. Yeah, he actually bumped into her while he was actually training, and well, he wanted to go get some food, and basically it was the end of the academy, and Tsuki was just looking down on the ground. Since she didn't really have any friends, she didn't want to make any friends, she didn't really care, especially because she kind of wanted to understand what happened to her brother, but it is what it is. Anywho, Naruto actually saw the resemblance to Shisui, but he didn't pay too much attention to her, and he's like, yeah, I don't really care, she's not Shisui, it's impossible, Shisui died. But then he actually decided that, oh wait, let me ask her, what's your name? And basically then she explained, she said, why are you asking? And just saying, Tsuki is an introvert, so she doesn't really well, you know, she doesn't feel comfortable about around new people. And basically Naruto's like, just told me your name already, and gives off a bit of bloodlust. And just saying, Naruto has a ton of bloodlust. Anyway, then Tsuki then says that her name is Tsuki Uchiha, and basically wait, and Naruto widens his eyes and is like, wait, there might be a possibility. And so then he asks if she has any siblings or family, and basically then Tsuki explains that she had an older brother, but he passed away. And of course then Naruto got confirmation, and he's like, interesting, so she really is well. And then basically he's like, wait, let me not jump to conclusions. And basically as he says that, Naruto of course then looks at Tsuki in the eyes, and basically she's like, do you know do you know if sorry, worded that wrong. Do you know your brother's name? And basically Tsuki's like, yeah, I do, of course I do, Shisui Uchiha. And basically then Naruto is like, I understand. Anywho, then Naruto actually leaves, and of course, since Naruto now understood that Shisui had a sister and she was left behind, and of course he felt sad for Tsuki, since now she has to live on her own, and it is what it is. Of course Naruto does know about the Uchiha massacre and how Itachi killed everyone and spared 2 people, and he doesn't really understand why, but he will find out. That is his goal right now, and he believes he's the one who killed Shisui, and so he wants to get confirmation from Itachi himself. But as of right now, he knows that Itachi is way too overpowered, and if he were to fight him, he'd probably die, and so he's training to get even stronger. Of course, Naruto, then a few months later, of course, a few months pass of him just doing missions, and he actually asks the Hokage to give him a few scrolls with high tier ninjutsu. And of course, the Hokage then asks, why is that Naruto? And basically then Naruto then says that he wants to become even stronger. And of course Naruto is taking his ninja life seriously right now, and so the Hokage then says, alright then. And basically Naruto is trying his best to learn all the ninjutsus that the Hokage has given him, and he wants to become the strongest ninja ever to have ever lived. And so Naruto keeps training, and within 4 years, when he's 12, Naruto actually becomes a Jonin. Yes, Naruto has already become a Jonin, and he's actually pretty freaking strong. He actually has known about Tsuki, and he has kept an eye on her, but Tsuki, of course, over these few years, she has been training on her own, and Naruto has seen, and Tsuki is much stronger than other, Genin. For example, Sasuke really literally cannot match up to her. She's that strong, and basically now Naruto already knows that this one's a prodigy, and basically compared to Naruto, she's nothing, to be honest. Even though she has the Tutomo Sharingan, she's really nothing. And so Naruto being a Jonin, he doesn't have to join Team 7. Of course, Team 7 is Tsuki, Sakura, and Sasuke. And basically, Sakura kind of hates Tsuki because she believes that she's trying to steal Sasuke away from her. But of course, Tsuki doesn't really give a damn. Anywho, of course, Tsuki's goal is just to find out who killed her brother, how did he die, and why in the first place. But it is what it is. Now, after this, Naruto, of course, since he's a Jonin, he can actually become a Jonin team leader, but of course he's too young, especially because he doesn't understand fully, and he became a Jonin pretty recently, so the Hokage didn't allow it. But of course Naruto still wanted to of course pass on his knowledge of being a ninja, especially because he pretty much wants to train Tsuki, because he wants to return the favor that her older brother did for him in the past. And so Naruto actually asks the Hokage if he can somehow become one of the Jonin team leaders of Team 7. Of course, the Hokage then asks why, and basically Naruto then explains that Shisui's younger sister is in it, and he wants to repay his kind act because of how Shisui trained him, allowed him to become stronger. He wants to help out Tsuki become stronger, because he actually has seen her train, and he believes she has a lot of potential, especially because she's a prodigy from what he's seen. And so the Hokage actually allows it by making a new system. So basically he actually creates Jonin team assistants. So basically his Naruto will not be a full-time Jonin team leader, but he will actually be an assistant for the Jonin team, the team leader. Of course, Naruto, since he's an assistant, he won't be there for every mission, because he will be doing his own missions in the meantime, but he will actually be helping out Team 7 in training. So basically Naruto is actually allowed to help out Team 7 in training whenever they do training. But since Team 7 never really does training in the first place, of course, since they don't do training, Naruto will have to take initiative on his own. And so of course he actually comes to Team 7 on the day with Kakashi at the same time, and so they're pretty late. And basically, since there's two of them, the Team 7 actually doesn't know who their team leader is, and so basically they actually ask who's the team leader. And basically the Kakashi explains that there is a new system in the Leaf Village, and basically there will be a team leader and a team leader assistant. And of course now they understood, and basically they ask what's the team leader assistant meant to do except for helping out the team leader. And basically the Kakashi explains that he'll be taking care of your training and I'll be taking care of your missions. And basically, so Naruto will technically not be in all the missions that Team 7 will be doing, but he will be in a few of them, and of course the important ones. Anywho, now Naruto, who actually of course sees Team 7 doing the bell test, and of course Naruto knows about the bell test and what it's actually about. And basically then he's actually watching how they work together, and he's actually pretty impressed, especially because they actually Tsuki and Sasuke actually took initiative. As two Uchihas, they actually decided to fight together, and Sasuke wasn't too he wasn't too fussed about it, because he was another Uchiha, and so he's like, I might as well, I mean, she's one of my own, I mean, why not? Anywho, after this, of course, Tsuki and Sasuke fight together, and Sakura joins in, and she's actually lucky enough to actually take the two bells away from Kakashi, while Kakashi was actually distracted by the two Sharingan users. Anywho, after this, of course, Naruto actually is extremely impressed by his new team. Well, of course, it's not really his team, he's just an assistant, but he's really impressed by them lot. And so he actually then congratulates them and actually takes them out for ramen. Of course, the next day, Team 7 actually does their first ever mission, and basically Naruto explains that they will be training from tomorrow as well. And basically Team 7 is pretty happy about this, because except for Sasuke, because Sasuke believes that he's capable enough to train on his own. But of course he doesn't understand the benefits of training with someone like Naruto. Naruto knows a lot of techniques, and he's pretty freaking OP right now. And yeah, anywho, after this, Naruto of course explains, after their first ever mission, of course Naruto explains that their training will be mostly on taijutsu for now, but then it will go to different things like ninjutsu, genjutsu, and all the other things. And basically, of course, Naruto, they're pretty stoked about Tsuki and Sakura. Of course, Naruto actually begins with the taijutsu, and so he actually sees that they're actually lacking on some taijutsu abilities. For example, Sasuke is really, well, not, I wouldn't say bad, but he's not the best at taijutsu, while Tsuki is actually better than Sasuke, but of course, not much better. But of course, Sakura is the worst one in taijutsu, as expected, but it is what it is. Now, of course, Naruto begins their training straight away, and of course, they all do pretty well for the first month, and Naruto actually decides that they will go into ninjutsu training. But the next day, of course, Team 7 asks for a D rank mission, and this was on Naruto's, week off, so he wasn't going to train Team 7 for the next week and doing missions, because he needed a break as well. He's been doing missions and training Team 7 for the past month, and so he needed a break, so he took a 1 week break. But of course, Naruto is actually called in by the Hokage, and he's asked if Team 7 are ready to actually take on a C-ranked mission. And of course, Naruto then says, of course they are. They've been training with me, and of course doing missions with Kakashi, and they're pretty strong. And just saying, Naruto and Kakashi are actually pretty good friends. Kakashi is actually happy to have Naruto as a friend and as a partner and as a comrade, because he's actually been he knows about Naruto's true identity, and so he's actually pretty calm with it. And so basically now the Land of Waves arc begins. Anywho, Land of Waves, yeah. Anywho, now of course Tarzana walks in, and Team 7 is pretty happy about the new mission. Even Sasuke is smiling. Finally, he's getting a challenge, and basically this mission is going to be a B/A rank. There's no way this is a C rank, as Kakashi said in the original. Anywho, now of course the mission begins as per normal. Of course, Team 7 actually noticing about the puddle, and it was actually Sasuke and Tsuki to take care of the puddle, and the two demon brothers, not the puddle. And Sakura was actually the one to tie them up, and of course Naruto and Kakashi actually threatened them to kill them if they don't tell them what's going on, who are they after, and why are they here in the first place. This is meant to be a C-ranked mission. There's no way a bridge builder should be chased by such tuning. Well, in a C-ranked mission, tunings are not meant to be involved in it, of course. And basically they explain that they've been hired to actually kill Danzo, and this kind of of course after this he actually brought up the true nature of this mission, and it's actually a lie. It was actually a lie from Tarzana, and I'm pretty sure I said Danzo before, and what I meant is Tarzana. I'm so sorry. Mistakes happen. I'm a human being. Anywho, after this, of course, Team 7 still wants to go on the mission, and of course, Naruto is not too opposed to it, even though he understands that if this mission gets too out of hand, it's going to be just him and Kakashi, and they don't know how many other higher ranked ninjas are going to be there. For all they know, they could have a Kage level fighter in their ranks just to kill Tarzana. Anywho, of course, Naruto's kind of skeptical about it, and Kakashi then says they're gonna go back because they need the Jonin team to actually finish this mission, and so they were about to, but then Naruto brings up the fact that there are 2 Jonins in this team, and that should be more than enough to take on a B rank mission. And of course Kakashi then says, true, but we have 3 Genin, and basically Naruto then says, well, 3 Genins were able to take away 2 bells from you, Kakashi, so wouldn't that be enough? And basically, of course, Kakashi then gives the benefit of the doubt to Team 7, and of course Team 7 actually does the mission. Of course, the mission continues until they're actually surrounded by fog, and basically Tsuki activates her Sharingan, and basically Sasuke activates it too, of course. But of course Tsuki's one's a bit stronger because Tsuki has the 2 Tomoe, while Sasuke only has the 1 Tomoe. But it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto actually realizes that there is a massive sword swinging towards them, and tells everyone to duck down, while he actually was able to catch the sword and throw it back to the person who threw it, but then Zabuza actually catches it. Naruto actually knows about Zabuza's, who Zabuza is, and so after this, Naruto then says to Team 7 to all stay back, and basically he's gonna handle this, and Kakashi actually wants to see how Naruto fights. Even though he's done missions with Naruto, he hasn't done them recently. He hasn't done missions with Naruto for the past 2 years, and this is the first mission that he does with him. Of course, he did them before Naruto actually began his training with the Hokage and everything, and so Naruto actually begins the fight against Tarzana. Of course, the fight against Tarzan goes a bit different since it's Naruto fighting this time. And of course, Naruto, who actually has a katana, like, you know, an Ambu. Of course, that is pretty freaking good. But it is what it is. Now, after this, of course, Naruto, who is fighting, you know, Zabuza, was actually able to, you know, get a few good hits on Zabuza, and he was actually able to, of course, injure Zabuza enough that he wasn't able to use his sword perfectly after this, because Naruto actually cut off a bit of his, you know, not a bit of his arm. What I meant is that Naruto actually cut off one of his, you know, nerves, and basically after this, Naruto and you know, Naruto actually said that this fight is over. Zabuza, you've lost. And basically, of course, Zabuza was actually about to die by Naruto's hands. Naruto actually about to kill Tarzan, Zabuza. Then out of nowhere, another ninja appears from nowhere, literally just appears, body flickers to be honest, and basically Naruto realizes that this ninja is pretty freaking fast, and so he actually dodges every senbon that he sends at them, and Kakashi was able to deflect them from his team. And basically Naruto then realizes that one of them actually hit one of his chakra points. Naruto then says God damn it, and after this, of course, you know, Zabuza and Haku actually escape. Naruto was pretty pissed off by this, and so he kind of cursed himself for letting, you know, Zabuza escape. And yeah, now of course, Naruto, who was actually Naruto had the upper hand against, you know, Zabuza, and you know, he was about to kill him, but of course this one came out of nowhere. He was pretty freaking pissed off, but it is what it is. After this, of course, Team 7 actually retreats to, you know, Tarzan's place, because Naruto, even though he trained Team 7, they never trained in, you know, chakra control, because Naruto mostly trained them in taijutsu. And so, you know, Team 7 actually, after this, trained with Kakashi for the first time. And their training with Kakashi was actually a bit slower, but still, Naruto trained on his own, because he actually had the ninjutsu to learn, well, himself. And that ninjutsu just had to be the Rasengan. Of course, Naruto actually has the scroll to the Rasengan, and yes, the Hokage has given it to him, and so he trains that for most of the day, and he realizes that he's out of chakra. Of course, after this, Naruto was on the ground for a few, and just saying, this is near the end of their training, and you know, Naruto was out of chakra on the floor, and he actually gets waken up by someone called Haku. Of course, Naruto and Haku became good friends, and you know, Haku still gave him the speech about his loved ones. Well, if you have a loved one, you'll always be stronger, just to protect them. But then Naruto, since he doesn't really have any loved ones, he then says, well, I guess I'll just have to get stronger without any loved ones. And basically, this kind of saddened, you know, Haku, because it's kind of sad, well, when someone doesn't have any loved ones, like they don't have any family or anything. And basically Naruto then says, it doesn't really matter to me, I've been alone most of my life, and it's just the norm for me. Anywho, it's just the norm for me. And after this, of course, Naruto then the next day actually woke up at the same time as in the original. Of course, since Kakashi was there, he didn't really think about it too much. But then after, when he woke up, he actually remembered about. Anywho, here Naruto still gave the speech to Inari, and Inari did change, and basically then right before Naruto left, he actually heard the screams of Inari and his mother, and basically Naruto body flickered there as fast as possible, well, faster than anyone could even see, and basically decapitated the two, and took Inari and his mother to the village that, of course, they went to in the first day that they actually arrived there. And of course, they were pretty safe there, especially because, you know, all the villagers were there with them. But after this, of course, Naruto actually left for his own, well, you know, to actually help out his own team. And yeah, after this, Naruto and, you know, sorry, Naruto, once he actually arrived, he saw that his team was actually in danger of actually losing their lives, especially because Tsuki and Sasuke were on the ground injured after, you know, Haku's Ice Mirror Jutsu and his Senbon. And Haku actually realizing that they both had the Sharingan, actually took out Tsuki first, and Naruto got kind of pissed about that, because Tsuki not only is she his favorite student, but also Tsuki, of course, is Shisui's sister, and of course she's Naruto. If he was to say he had a loved one, it would be Shisui, because he thought Shisui like an older brother. Even though Itachi is the same, still he wants to find out if Itachi really killed Shisui or not, and that is something that is actually stopping him from actually kind of loving Itachi, but he still respects Itachi with everything that he has. Like, literally, Itachi is his role model still. Even though Shisui was his teacher, Itachi was his role model. Anyway, after this now, Naruto, of course, comes inside the ice mirrors and takes them both out, and basically then looks at Haku and lets out all of his bloodlust. And basically, the bloodlust could be could be felt from Sasuke, who was actually pretty injured, and Tsuki, who was actually injured too, but she was still kind of conscious. Of course, she was on the floor, injured. She could still feel the bloodlust coming from Naruto, and of course that was pretty scary for her too. It was an experience that not many people go through, especially Genin, especially because they're not meant to be going through a mission like this, and Naruto was pretty freaking pissed off after what happened. Anywho, of course Haku, the ice mirror was actually shattered after feeling Naruto's bloodlust and feeling Naruto's wrath. Of course, now the after the ice mirrors got destroyed, Naruto then actually tried to blitz Haku, but Haku was just as fast as Naruto, and barely as fast as Naruto, to be honest. And of course, after this, Haku actually was barely able to escape Naruto's, grasps, and he was actually about to kill Haku. But then, of course, Naruto was actually able to get a good hit on Haku with his imperfect, Rasengan, and he was actually able to destroy Haku's mask, especially because this was an imperfect one. He didn't do as much of damage that a perfect one should have done. To be honest, the perfect Rasengan would have actually destroyed Haku's face and actually pretty much killed him. But of course, since this was just Rasengan in his second phase, yes, Naruto only did 2 of the steps to the Rasengan. It wasn't able to actually kill Haku. Of course, Haku was still injured in the face. He had a few scratches, but then Naruto realized who he was, and basically he asked why to Haku, and basically, of course, in the end, Haku was about to give up his life for Zabuza, but then Naruto actually stopped both Haku. He actually pushed Haku away and basically stopped Kakashi's hand an inch away from Zabuza's heart, and basically he's like, "No, Kakashi-sensei, I have an idea," and basically then explains that maybe they can actually join the Leaf's ranks and basically become 2 great shinobi for the Leaf Village. And then basically of course this all depended on Zabuza's choice, and if they chose not to, Naruto would have had to kill Zabuza, but then he would have still tried to persuade Haku, but of course Haku would give up his eye for Zabuza, so it would have been pretty hard if if Haku was about to give up his life to save Zabuza, then he was probably going to give it up again. Anywho, after this, of course, Naruto actually persuaded, Zabuza into actually making a truce with them and actually joining the Leaf Village. And basically, Haku was pretty happy, Naruto was pretty happy, and Team 7 was all they were all saved. And Naruto, who actually had a bit of a few bandages, was actually able to heal Tsuki. Well, not heal her, but of course take care of her small injuries. And basically after this, of course, Naruto and Team 7 helped out the team, the bridge builder, finish off his bridge. And after this, of course, a week later, Team 7 actually returned to the Leaf Village. Of course, after this, now that Zabuza and Haku joined the Leaf Shinobi's Jonin ranks, Naruto actually had a new friend, and now he actually had loved ones. He actually realized that he had feelings for Tsuki, and remember, they're the same age, so it doesn't really matter. Anywho, after this, he realized that he had feelings for Tsuki, and Haku realized that too, because Naruto, once he saw Tsuki on the ground while Sasuke was injured, he actually got pretty pissed, and basically Naruto seemed like Haku saw Naruto, and basically he was that looks like a person who's angry about their loved one getting hurt. And basically Haku would have made the same exact face if Zabuza were to get injured as bad as Tsuki. Of course, Zabuza kind of got as hurt as Tsuki in the first fight, but of course that was to be expected, especially against someone as strong as Naruto. And just saying, Naruto is way too strong for Zabuza in the first place, but it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto and Team 7, well, Naruto of course told Team 7 about the Chunin exams, and of course now that they know about the Chunin exams, Naruto and Kakashi and Haku actually trained Team 7 in getting ready for the Chunin exams and actually being able to pass the Chunin exams with ease. Of course, Naruto taught them, told them about the written exam, and of course then he actually made them study for a week, and for the other week it was just Kakashi and Haku teaching them about survival and how one of the tests might be about survival. And so after this, Team 7 actually trained quite a bit. Anywho, of course, Team 7 joined the Chunin exams. And just saying, Haku actually trained Sakura a bit more than the others because Sakura needed a bit more help, but it is what it is. Sakura actually became a pretty strong shinobi, and it is what it is now. Of course, Team 7 joins, and Naruto is actually waiting outside of the first exam room to actually see his team passing. Of course, he wants to see his team pass because he wants his team to pass in the first place, because he's actually really proud of them, and he knows that they're all strong and all smart, so they should be able to pass the first exam pretty easily. Especially because he's the one who taught them. And Naruto got max scores in his exam, even though he never got a squad to do it with. Naruto still did the exams, because the Hokage actually allowed him to, and it is what it is. After this, of course, well, the Hokage took his test himself, and basically, his fighting exam was actually him, Naruto versus the Hokage himself, and Naruto put up a real good fight, especially for a Genin. And yeah, anywho, after this, Naruto, of course, waiting for his team, and then once they come out all happy, of course, Naruto realizes that they must have, excelled or passed or something. Anywho, of course, after this, Team 7 all were celebrating, but of course, the second part of the exam actually began. Anywho, Naruto was actually in a scroll during the exam, and so basically Team 7 would have had to go through the same experience, and Saki actually here awakened her Free-Tomo Sharingan, and she was the one to save actually Team 7. Of course, Sakura helped out since Sasuke was actually out of the fight, and it is what it is. After this, Naruto and Saki after this, Team 7 still got attacked by the Sound Trio, and here Sasuke still annihilated. And anywho, after this, a few days later, after Sasuke's curse mark was actually sealed away by Kakashi, of course, Team 7 still had to go throughout the preliminaries, like in the original, because there were too many people who actually passed the Forest of Death, exam, and that was pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive, especially because not many people pass usually. But this year, there were a lot of prominent Genin, and so Team 7, of course, passed, and they were taking the preliminaries, and here, the only double knockout that actually happened was Hinata's one. Hinata and Neji actually got a double knockout. Well, and of course, Lee's fight went the same. Tsuki actually versed Kiba since Naruto wasn't in here, and Sakura beat Ino. Of course, Sasuke won his fight as per normal because he's OP as fuck. Anywho, now, of course, Naruto was actually pretty happy about the their progress, and of course Team 7 had to go through the 1 month training. Of course, during this 1 month training, Saki and Sasuke actually trained with the same person, which is Kakashi. Anywho, Sakura actually trained with Haku, because I'm going to implement something that is not real, but it's a fanfic. It was not a fanfic, it was just a fan theory, but still. Anywho, of course, Naruto, I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm going with this. Anywho, Naruto still, since no one actually came to info training, still decided to train himself, because he didn't really have any missions during this time, and he was actually training on his own, until one day he actually came across this man. Of course, he was actually heading down to Ichiraku Ramen, with getting all the looks as usual, but of course, Naruto, out of nowhere, still bumped into a pervert, and still of course, that pervert asked him if he wants to become his student, and Naruto, realizing who this is, actually says yes, 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 I want to become your student, because he knows about, Jiraiya being a legendary Sanin, and he really wants to be the, a student of a legendary Sanin. Anywho, after this, now Naruto trains with Jiraiya, and of course Jiraiya sees that Naruto is already pretty freaking strong, and Naruto's still taking his ninja life seriously. He's not going to do missions during the training exams, but right now he's training, and basically Jiraiya asks what Naruto knows, and Naruto says that he knows a few jutsus and all these things, but of course, Naruto tells Jiraiya about, his current training, and that he's trying to master this technique called the Rasengan, and basically Jiraiya actually knew the Rasengan himself, and so he actually decided to help Naruto master, the Rasengan, because he knew it, and then basically actually taught Naruto, he taught Naruto the summoning jutsu. Sorry, I had to cough there. Anywho, he taught Naruto the summoning jutsu, and Naruto still had to stay on, and just on his head. And just saying, Naruto actually took 2 weeks to learn this, even though he's much better here. Naruto still took a while to learn, his ninjutsus, and especially because he really didn't have to rush this, especially because Tsunade not making a bet with Naruto. Still, of course, after this, Naruto actually masters most of the things, and of course now he's just waiting to see his students again. And after this, Naruto, of course, finishes his 1 month training with Jiraiya, actually doing some sparring for the next 2 weeks. And yeah, after this, Naruto actually began preparing for being the god of the Chunin exams. Of course, as usual, Naruto will have to be, not as usual, but still here Naruto has to be the god. And then last minute, the day before the exam the exam actually began, Naruto has been asked to be the proctor for this exam, to show that the Naruto is actually pretty much one of the strongest shinobi in this in the Leaf Village, especially because of Naruto's training with Shisu and everything. Of course, people were really impressed by Naruto, a 12-year-old being a Jonin, and I'm pretty sure that is the youngest age of a Jonin. Even yes, Naruto's 12. Even Kakashi couldn't do it. Kakashi was 13 when he became a Jonin. But still, anywho, after this, of course, Naruto became the proctor of the Chunin exams. And Naruto is actually a bit taller here than all the other Genin, and that is only because he needs to look a bit older. But still, after this, Naruto actually began the Chunin exams, and here Sasuke and Tsuki actually came on time. Of course, Sasuke's fight was gonna be lost because of plot convenience, but still. Anywho, after this, of course, Tsuki and Sakura's fight actually begins, and yes, Sakura and Tsuki are versing each other, and this fight will be pretty interesting. Anywho, we begin this fight by Tsuki and Sakura, of course, greeting each other after a full month of training. Of course, Haku is really proud of her new student, of his new student. Of course, I said her for some reason. Anywho, after this, of course, Haku then Naruto, who was actually in the stands for now, Haku then explains. Naruto asks Haku, what did he teach Sakura, and of course, Haku explained that he actually taught Sakura a few techniques, and something that Sakura somehow had an affinity for. And of course, the fight begins with Tsuki trying to attack Sakura and finishing the fight quickly, because she actually underestimated Sakura from the get-go, because of course she was always stronger than Sakura, and she thought she can beat Sakura with ease. Anywho, after this, of course, Tsuki gets proven wrong real fast, especially because Sakura actually was able to dodge Tsuki's attack, and basically, of course, Tsuki was that impressive. Sakura, you've gone faster. And yeah, anywho, after this, Tsuki wasn't able to get any hits on Sakura, and Sakura then goes on the offensive, and of course, Sakura then says, are you ready to see what I've learned? And basically, Tsuki's gone then, and as soon as she says this, Tsuki couldn't move anymore. Of course, Tsuki was confused, but then she looks down and she realizes that there is ice on her feet. And of course, Naruto's eyes widen and he's like, wow. interesting. And of course, ice release is something OP as fuck, to be honest. Let's be real, Todoroki pretty much has ice release. Yeah, he's OP as fuck. He's one of the best characters in MHA. Anywho, after this, of course, Sakura kinda annihilates, Tsuki, and Tsuki is actually eliminated. Even though Tsuki actually had the Chidori and everything, she was actually beaten by Sakura because of her arrogance here. And Naruto actually wasn't too fast about it. Naruto just, well, of course, Naruto's like, it's just a learning curve. It's her own fault for losing to Sakura. And Sakura is actually pretty strong. I can't deny it. And basically, Haku was really happy about this. And basically, Sakura actually played this really well. Not only did she outsmart, Tsuki, and especially because Tsuki was being really arrogant here. Of course, it was a bit because of her, her own arrogance that she lost. But still, Naruto, I was really impressed by Sakura and both Tsuki as well. Tsuki was about to use the Chidori right at the end, but then Sakura actually stabbed, her shoulder with an ice spear, and Tsuki was out of the fight because she couldn't move anymore, and her insides were actually no. I mean, the inside of her shoulder was actually starting to get frozen, and basically Haku actually told Naruto, and Naruto actually said, okay, the fight is over. Sakura wins. Sakura Haruno is a winner. Is the winner, and basically after this, Sakura was really ecstatic about it, and so now Naruto then announces the next fight, which is Shikamaru versus Temari. And just saying, Naruto and Shikamaru are still friends. Shikamaru was actually one of Naruto's only friends in the in the academy before he left. Naruto still was in the academy for a month, just saying. Anywho, of course, now Shikamaru realized was really happy about Naruto becoming a Jonin that quick, and he's really stoked about for Naruto, but it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto of course trains, not trains, Naruto actually watches Shikamaru's fight carefully, because he actually wants Shikamaru to win, to be honest. He wants pretty much the Leaf Village to, win the Chunin exams, to be honest. He doesn't want anyone else to win, especially because he wants to show that the Leaf Village is way better, has stronger shinobi, and that isn't because Naruto is some kind of dickhead or anything. Naruto just, wants to, show the Leaf Village's true power, and he just supports the Leaf Village. Anywho, it's like me when I support Italy in World Cup and Euros when I know we're probably gonna lose. Like, our players are like 60G. Anywho, anywho, I said anywho 3 times without knowing. Anywho, now Naruto, of course, Naruto, of course, watching the fight against Shikamaru, and Shikamaru outsmarts, Temari as per normal. That fight was actually amazing. Of course, Shikamaru outsmarts with ease. Everyone was really impressed, and Naruto was like, damn! And of course, he would have thought that Shikamaru would have lost too, but then Shikamaru proved him wrong. Of course, Naruto's 200 IQ too. He wouldn't have got caught by that, but Naruto wasn't expecting it, of course. Anywho, now after this, after Shikamaru's fight, it's actually, Shino, but Shino wins, because of Kankuro actually quitting, the fight, and it is what it is. After this, of course, Naruto, and, Naruto then announces the next fight, and the next fight is an interesting one, as usual. It was interesting in the original, and it was interesting. It will always be interesting for me to watch that over and over again. And anywho, of course, Naruto then announces Gara versus Sasuke, and of course this fight was gonna be a true, a true fight. Anywho, a Jinchuriki versus a one of the last surviving Uchihas in the Leaf Village, but it is what it is. Of course, Naruto wants to see who wins this fight, because he actually knows about Gara being a Jinchuriki, and he's really intrigued by Gara's fighting style, especially after watching the Chunin exams, the preliminaries of the Chunin exams. But anywho, of course Naruto, sorry. Of course, the fight begins. Gara actually begins by using a sand, well, quicksand. Yes, now Gara actually has a technique called quicksand, and basically he makes the battleground into quicksand. But then Sasuke actually uses his water release. Yes, Sasuke actually has water release as well, and so he makes it into mud. Of course, the sand becomes mud once he actually gets, you know, wet, and so Sasuke actually was running on mud now. But of course, since the mud was actually wet, Sasuke actually used a Chidori stream, which he actually created on his own. Of course, that kind of electrocuted Gara and kind of got him pissed, and so Gara tried to use the sand coffin on, you know, Sasuke, and that didn't go too well. Of course, Sasuke kind of, you know, dodged that pretty quick, because Gara wasn't really thinking too straight when he actually did that. But still, after this, and Sasuke actually decided to back up a bit, especially because Gara had techniques that he didn't know about. For example, the quicksand technique that he thought that he saw everything that Gara had in the preliminaries, but that turned out to be a freaking lie. Anyways, I've been lied to. Anywho, after this, Sasuke actually decides that he wants to end the fight as soon as possible, because he doesn't want to get annihilated by Gara, and so he actually goes on to actually create a Chidori and then actually blitzes Gara, and Gara actually creates a sand dome, but Sasuke was actually able to penetrate it and stab his shoulder. Of course, here is where you know, Gara went into his rampage, and of course everyone got put under Genjutsu. Of course, Tsuki and Sakura and Naruto went put under the Genjutsu. Of course, Shikamaru wasn't, Sasuke wasn't, and all the Jonin, but still Sasuke followed Gara. And after that, anywho, Naruto then gathers, you know, Tsuki, Sakura, and Shikamaru, and tells them that they will be going into an A-rank mission, and he will be leading them, because Naruto is a sensory ninja. He can actually sense where Sasuke went, and so they actually go together. Of course, here Shikamaru stays back to actually fight the sound shinobi that were following them. Sakura actually decides to fight, you know, Temari, and Kankuro actually appears, which then Shino appears, and he's like, alright, I'll take him on. And basically then Naruto's like, Tsuki, take him on as well. And basically Tsuki's like, what do you mean? And basically Naruto then's like, we don't know any information about Kankuro, so please take him on with the Shino. You don't want Shino to get injured or anything, do you? And basically Shino then looks at Naruto saying that it's fine, and basically Naruto's like, nah, it's not fine. You do not go into a fight blind. And as they were talking, of course, so Kankuro got pretty pissed and lets out, you know, his puppets, and basically Tsuki actually realizes that they're coming right towards her, and basically Naruto then actually breaks the arms of one of them, and basically you know, Kankuro's like, god damn it. And basically after this, the Naruto then says, I'll go get Sasuke, and basically Tsuki's like, okay, it's Naruto. And basically as she says that Naruto body flickers away, and now that he has no one to hold him back, he actually body flickers straight to Sasuke and Gara, and the fight begins. Of course, Sasuke is still fighting Gara by this time, because here it took much less time, especially because Naruto didn't have Sakura with him, and he went didn't have anyone with him, and so he could go full speed, you know, towards Sasuke. And of course after this he finds Sasuke, and you know, of course Sasuke goes into his curse mark state and gets annihilated by half Shikaku Gara, and Naruto actually begins to fight Gara, and he's having a pretty easy time until Shikaku actually gets, you know, summoned pretty much, and well, not summoned, actually comes out, and of course Gara still on you know, Shikaku's head. And Naruto, who wasn't really injured or anything, he wasn't tired from any fight, here he would have had a much easier time dealing with Gara, and so Naruto of course deals with Gara easily, and of course still needs to summon Gamabunta. And here this time he actually does headbutt Gara as usual, and basically that goes the same. And yeah, after this of course Naruto and Gara actually, well, Naruto and Gara still become friends after Naruto gives the inspirational speech that I'm going to roll in now.
It's almost unbearable, isn't it? The feeling of being all alone. I know that feeling. I've been there, in that dark and lonely place. But now there are others. other people who mean a lot to me. I care more about them than I do myself, and I won't let anyone hurt them. That's why I won't ever give up. I will stop you, even if I have to kill you.
But why? Why would you do this for anyone but yourself?
Because they saved me from myself. They rescued me from my loneliness. They were the first to accept me for who I am. They're my friends.
Anywho, I'm going to end it off here because my throat is fucking dead. Anywho, hope you all enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This was the King of Weebs here, and this was the first part. And don't forget to subscribe to Kazama, and also Miniman123, Ratreet, and also my friend Hxmesh. All links are in the description below. Don't forget to follow Shoku on Instagram, me on Instagram and Twitter, and also join my Discord server and the link in the description below. Anywho, I hope you all enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe, and peace. I forgot to say, my ducklings, stay safe.